All right. So there's usually a little lag. So I'll just lag for a little bit and just mention that this is episode 200 of the 48-hour art check. What? That's insane. So we've done 200 of these, which, just to put that in context, that's almost a year. Like if you compiled, like you could watch one a day for 200 days in a row, which is kind of insane.
Yeah. So you could spend 9 months of your life watching this playlist,
which I highly recommend. You guys should go do that right after this. Just do the 200 days of the 48-hour art check. Watch an episode a day.
And each one is roughly 30 to 60 minutes. And so it's like half the length of a Brandon Sanderson book if you watched them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's true. If we compiled it, man, we got like a tiny chunk of like a Stormborn Chronicle there.
Right.
All right. So let's get into it. So we're going to basically just run the art check as usual. And then I think we all talked about it, and we've kind of clipped together some past episodes and like kind of a look back. And so we're going to kind of show that for everybody. And then, yeah, so let's start. Let's do the art check. What did you get done, Corey, since the last art check?
Let's see. So I stitched together tomorrow's episode of Indymation Conversation, which will show, it's a 29-minute tutorial on every trick I know in After Effects that I use to animate.
I love it.
And so, also I'm supposed to occasionally yell, Jim Lujan, because he wanted to be on this episode. So he's now part of the show. And then I went back and filmed some stuff. I also have some things that I'll probably show later, but that I don't have right now, where I'm playing with lip sync animation, like getting the mouth to match up to dialogue. So.
Oh, sweet. Okay. More on that like algorithm that you showed a bit of last time.
This is more the way Jim does it, where I'm just doing mouth shapes.
Oh, wow. So cool.
I'm going to try to see if I can mesh the two, but yeah, that's kind of what I've gotten done. Dude, how about you, Scott?
So in an effort to try to get out and not just sit here behind my desk every single day, I went out to a drink and draw. I just got back from it, actually.
Yeah.
I did that, and then I did somewhere around here was another one. That. So yeah. So I did that. Yeah, I want to keep doing more of that stuff. But I also, let's see. So over the weekend, I uploaded some T-shirts. I've been creating, getting some T-shirt designs ready. I'm not paying attention to what you guys are putting up there.
Nothing.
I did a little bit of taxes. I need to do a lot of bit of taxes, but I started at least, and I don't know. I did a bunch of stuff, and I didn't write it all down. So I have been busy. So I'll just kind of leave it at that.
Josh. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was going to chime in and say, like, taxes is something I completely relate to, because we're starting to ramp up. We're going to try to get it filed and all that nonsense this weekend, which I want to do it early this year. That's always the goal.
Basically, all I did was separated my receipts into categories, and I haven't added anything up or anything, so it takes forever. So
yeah,
that's one of the problems of having your own business. So yeah,
dark side of freelance is taxes. Especially if you're like me and you avoid your estimates.
I didn't. I avoided the last one because I didn't have the money to pay it, because I didn't have many money coming in, but
yeah.
I just like getting that curveball. I think I'm okay. So
yeah, I like getting that curveball around April time where I'm like, can't afford. Okay. So what I got done, I got this done, which is basically like a little like disclaimer kind of thing. And then I wrapped up the the other interior page. Sorry, I'm like trying to kind of keep these things balanced. The other interior page too. So yeah, and then like that's pretty much it. I'm kind of at the point of like I need to format the interiors of the book, find out what the safe area is. So that's probably my next step. Because while I'm doing the formatting, I think I'm going to print it out and try to have a few friends read it and help me kind of condense, like to kind of recap the story. Because I'm terrible at pitches and I'm terrible at like boiling a story down into like a paragraph. And so I like to like show it to other people and have them kind of give me some hints on what to condense it to. What are the key components? So yeah. So you guys might be getting bothered by like, hey, can you read this entire thing and give me a summation? Yeah. But and then I reached out to somebody Corey recommended too. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, good.
But yeah, so we're gonna try to have a conversation about that and some promotion ideas and stuff. Other than that,
she got back to you.
Yeah,
good, great,
yeah, which is awesome. Cool. And then the last thing I did was we finished the first like kind of heavy mixing of like our little EP for my band, and so some really good sounding songs. And now it's literally just listening to it on like 10 different devices just to see like where the reverb's a little too much or where like compression's too much or too little, and just fine tuning. And then hopefully I'm fingers crossed, but I'm kind of hoping within like 2 months to have it mastered and mixed and ready to release, which is kind of cool. The music thing's a side project, but since this is a looking back thing, that'll be touched on too, because that's something that kind of started around the time we started this. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got done.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, what do you guys think of skipping challenges and plans until after the look back?
That's fine.
Okay,
I think that's brilliant.
All right, I'm gonna switch over, and then so what we're gonna do now is we are going to kind of look back. We've had some technical difficulties. We've had some interesting moments. We've had some fictional moments, and so here's some. Just I don't know how else to introduce this other than we've done 200 episodes, and so a lot of crazy stuff has happened.
Yeah, highlight reels, basically.
Yeah. Real quick. All right, I'm ready to go. Josh, if you want to hit that.
All right, let's show it. But
I mean, about the thing should happen.
What?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just really, really important to. How is that coming through the? We're in different states.
So as far as what I did this week, it's pretty cool. But rather than just talk about it, I want to actually go get it and show you. So hold on a second.
That is not a.
Oh, my leg.
I don't have his address. Should we call someone?
So,
and then there was some more serious moments as well, kind of where we eventually had to have kind of an intervention.
So that's what I did for for my Artcheck and stuff. So Corey, what about you? What'd you get done?
Oh, I had. I don't think I did anything.
So you just okay.
Definitely get that. You can get that at circworks.com. Yeah, go download it now.
Cool. Okay, so Scott, sounds like a really productive time.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey, what'd you get done this last Artcheck?
I don't think I did anything.
Right.
Yeah, Corey, this is something that's kind of I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and probably shouldn't do it on the air, but and I first kind of noticed this when we went to Creative South, but I think when we were there, we probably went out to yogurt like 2 or 3 times a day, frozen yogurt, and
I like yogurt.
I can't help but noticing you're consuming a lot of yogurt on the show.
Yeah,
and I don't know, Josh. I mean,
Scott and I have been talking, and we're getting a little concerned about the yogurt. This is about like 10 Artchecks now, and it seems like you're getting a lot of yogurt eaten, but not a lot of other things.
Yeah. Well, where did it go?
Tough love, Scott. Stay with it. Stick with it. Corey, you still there?
Corey.
So that's everything and then there was that time that Scott got distracted and started curing diseases. That's everything that I did in the last 48 hours. Pretty good progress.
Yeah.
How about you, Scott?
Oh, well, I've been hard at work trying to find a cure for restless leg syndrome.
Did you draw anything, or
I drew blood.
did you make anything creatively?
Yeah, like art, like
I would argue that there's some creative thought that goes into curing something that affects a lot of people, myself included.
Yeah, but I mean, we all do lots of cool stuff, but this is the Artcheck.
I mowed my lawn today. I'm not mentioning that on the Artcheck, you know what I mean?
But I guess I totally spaced out on that. Sometimes I'm like a dog with a bone. I get something in my head and I just start running with it. So
it's a pretty color.
It is.
Yeah, it's vitamin C. That's the main ingredient for the cure for restless leg syndrome.
Are you sure?
Or maybe that's scurvy. I don't know. I think that's scurvy.
I think you cured scurvy, which has been cured about 300 years ago. So
yeah,
probably draw something.
Maybe I should look into diseases, make sure they haven't already been cured before I start trying to find a cure for them.
That's a good call.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll know better next time. Just get.
Also, you'll see a theme here where Josh and Scott don't break at all, and I'm the one that cracks up all the time. I can't even remember what this one is, but here's another one.
Crazy on this whole T-shirt game, so that's what I've been up to.
Cool. Josh, how about you? What kind of progress have you made?
So I feel like I made a real big breakthrough this week because I know you guys are pretty familiar with like the pages I work on, and usually it's
they're huge.
Large scale. So I finally
I've seen them in person. They're huge.
Yeah, and so I was just thinking, like, it just takes a lot of time, to work that big. So I've kind of changed up my game a little bit.
Really?
I'll show you my progress so far on my piece, which is, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but I'm definitely starting to get there. And I feel like, at this rate, I'll be done with my graphic novel in like maybe 2 days,
Is that going to be actual size? Are you going to enlarge it, or?
I don't know why we have to talk about the size of it. I mean, I'm making progress,
Josh, size matters, man.
I just don't think that's relevant to this conversation. I mean, look at it's a finished page.
I mean, it looks great, and you're making great progress. But in the end, it's really small.
Fine. All right, Corey, what you get? All right, so we're going to be recording in a second, Scott. Corey's just getting set up.
Okay. Now, a lot of the viewers might not know this, but like any reality TV show, there was some behind-the-scenes alliances formed.
Okay. Before he comes back, I just wanted to. I don't know if I'm in the right place to say this because you guys kind of brought me into this. I'm not even officially on every episode, but. It's just getting too much with Corey.
Yeah.
I don't know if you. Just some of the stuff that he's, some of the stuff he brings up. Yeah, and so I don't know. I'm thinking of is it too much of me to say maybe just kick him out of the show?
Yeah, I'm thinking about voting him off. And
yeah, we need to form an alliance or something.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Oh, nothing really. Just the usual, getting ready. Stuff like that.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, so that's the hit. And then I don't actually think this one's funny that much, but apparently I can be kind of long-winded. history of tech companies, in the last 50 years, and that's what's brought us to today. And today, the huge problem that we have is cybersecurity, and we have online privacy. We've got all kinds of problems. So everyone needs minimum 15 character password on everything, and not the same password. If you use the same password on something else, then somebody could hack in. So that's point 15. Let's talk about point 16. Point 16. We are talking. Are you guys okay?
What?
Oh yeah. So point 16 is that spear phishing. So there's different types of phishing campaigns. Phishing with the PH. Now, should we change the? I'll just go. I'll just do this on my own channel. Don't anybody wake them. They're very tired, obviously, because that was really interesting stuff.
What?
Huh? Yeah.
Great point about.
And that's my 20-point plan to solve all the things.
I agree with everything you said.
Oh, excellent. So you guys want to Venmo me then, or?
Sure.
So Corey, before Josh gets here, I thought, it's hard for me to say because I know you guys are gracious enough to bring me on and everything, but I don't know. Maybe tell me if I'm wrong, but I just don't think Josh is working out.
Oh yeah, totally. Let's get rid of him. Let's form an alliance. We'll vote him off the island.
Okay.
Guys, I have volume on.
Huh?
Stop on here.
What?
We were in an alliance.
No.
What? You heard? What?
You guys were in an alliance?
What? Well.
Yeah. So as far as challenges go, that's pretty much it. It was fun. Good day out with the family. Had a good time with my kid.
Yeah, I'm glad you're having a good time with your kids, Corey.
Okay, this was an awkward period of time that went on for a long time, and it's when Josh actually tried to run for the president of the United States of America.
Yeah, I want to talk about empowering, more families to be able to have good times with their kids. There's too many children being separated from their families, and this is why I'm running for office in 2020 for president of the United States. And I'd just like you guys to go to Kemble 2020 and just donate, $1, $2, $10, $100, $1 million, whatever amount you really want to donate, because this is the kind of political action that we need in our country. We need a more forward-thinking artist in office.
As far as challenges, I keep having this problem where my dog keeps eating my pens, so I've kind of had to take this thing together.
Scott, I'm glad you brought up dogs and pets, because it's about time that we start recognizing the rights of animals in our country. How many days are we just going to sit idly by while multiple families, mistreat their animals and their pets? And I'm telling you, we need more animal rights, which is why I think you need to go to Kemble2020.com.
So anyway, Scott, so that's why I was curious on how you were doing that, because, one of the things that I'm trying to do is really optimize things and really work on stuff that is efficient and effective, and try to kind of cut the fat. So kind of what's your thought process on how to do that?
Yeah, I'm glad cutting fat, because there's a lot of fat cats in the industry that are running our government and our country, and they're running it into the ground. And if you guys want to end the fat cats of Wall Street running our system amok and mismanaging in our country, then you need to go to Kemble2020.com and donate for my campaign for presidency. And I'm glad that we've been able to retain these Artchecks, in a non-political manner, so that I can just get, direct access. You guys, the voter, you, the real people who aren't the fat cats of Wall Street, and I can get your contributions and campaign contributions, just to get a clean, wonderful run for the presidency. Let's make it happen. Kemble2020.com.
Can I go now?
How can we revitalize this economy? You know what I'm saying, guys? You guys, are we still doing that? Well, I guess Kemble 2020. I'm gonna go see where everyone. You guys, I'm gonna go see where everyone went. Kemble 2020.
So that's our look back. Josh, tell me when I can come back over.
I love it. Was that it?
Yep.
Are we all right? Cool. Yeah, that was our look back at the last few years of doing this.
I will say this, Josh, is I know your campaign failed miserably, but that was one of the most entertaining Democratic debates that I've ever seen. So
thanks. Yeah, it was hard. I got trounced in that last one, but
yeah, but I feel like
next
taking
year.
your pants off kind of helped.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
well, it's just you reach this point where that's the only card you can pull. Your pants.
Okay, so I didn't get to look at any of these, but yeah, there's a lot of really good comments on the thing, and I do think that we need a Kemble 2020. Sure, and I will also say this. Scott wasn't exaggerating. That actually wasn't part of the joke. We actually did go to yogurt multiple times a day, I think.
I might exaggerate a little. I don't think we went more than twice a day, but I know there was a couple times where we went twice a day.
I'm just saying, I live hard and I live fast, and that includes some good froyo.
In all fairness, I didn't argue when you suggested yogurt numerous times. So I was for it. So
I have to say, I drew blood was one of my favorite lines, but the best was Scott saying, "Can I go now?"
So good.
Tim is going to vote for Josh, and Chris. Chris says we haven't aged a day. I think we have aged actually exactly one day since we shot all of that yesterday, and each of us had a giant pile of T-shirts just off camera. So
you're breaking down the fourth wall, Corey.
Oh, I know, but yeah.
Keep the illusion.
It was hilarious because I would do this. And then just like switch around the order or whatever. I'm not even doing it right. But anyway.
Yeah, just to shuffle the location of us so it feel like a different day.
We were trying to do that.
Cool.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
Okay, so I mean for an hour of work and very little scripting, that was good. That was entertaining.
I was afraid when I fell down that stairs that I was serious. I thought I was seriously injured. I keep forgetting how old I am when I do that stuff.
Are you okay? Be honest. Are you not hurt a little bit? Because like
I was hurt that when I did it. I actually I scraped my arm a little, but I'm okay now. So
I mean, is that a tile floor at the top of your stairs?
It's what do you call it? Vinyl.
Okay.
So you kind of committed to it, like in a way I don't think either of us were expecting, because initially I was just thinking it would be like a pratfall where you just hit the floor. I didn't expect to roll down the stairs.
I thought it was just gonna be audio. I didn't even know you could see me falling. I thought you'd see the chair flip over and then you just hear me
flying around.
I'm glad I went the extra mile and actually fell down the stairs.
Yeah, that was commitment, man.
But I do have to say I'm very confused about your stairs because that looks like a light.
Get over here, Corey.
I know, but like I didn't take measurements in my mind. But like you seem to be at a height level when you were laying down because that light seems like it's above. It was really weird.
Yeah, there's two platforms. There's one here, and then it kind of goes down. There's another one. So yeah, it's not that one's not too far down.
I love it.
Oh
man, that was fun.
Right. So
I also like that we're a group that like we commit to an idea and we'll actually do it. And I think there's value to that with creatives, like being at a room where you can throw spaghetti at a wall and people can actually go, "Hey, that's good. Let's run with it." I think that's a good group of people.
Yeah.
That was good. The miniature thing. That was funny. That surprised me because didn't we tell him see if we can go find a big piece of paper like he was going to work larger.
We were going to have it be like a football field.
I wanted to get him to bring out a bed sheet. And be like, I'm going to be drawing on this now. It was even better than it was this tiny postage stamp. And like you went and found it and drew on it in just like a couple seconds. Did you have to? I'm assuming you had to cut it.
Yeah, I just cut like a little corner and sketched on it. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was funny. Anyway, so here's what I want to do. We went live with episode 1 of the 48-hour art check in May of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want everybody in the chats to think about what you guys have done, major highlights. We're not going to go through everything ourselves. But what have you done since May of 2018? Because part of this art check is, Josh and I and Scott checking in on each other, but also part of it is like everybody's kind of been along for a ride with us, and they've done stuff, and I was looking back, and there's been some sticker stints that everybody's participated in with me, and people are making comics and stuff. And so in the chats, I'll pull them up. I'll pull them up as you guys say them, but I'm curious on what everybody else has done. Abe is asking how many shirt changes. Eventually, we ran out of shirts, and we started having to add hats and jackets and
funky sunglasses.
Right. So I don't know. I know that my studio on that side of the studio is messy anyway, and so it was messier. It reminded me in college when I wasn't married and I didn't have to care about laundry.
Mm-hmm. Where you have like just this pile of shirts.
Pile of shirts. You pick one up, you smell it. If it's not too rank, you're good for the day. But yeah. So anyway, so who wants to go first on start? Or do you want to like take turns just really quick, or do you want to go one at a time, or?
I don't have much, so I'll I can start it off. So May of 2018. So I think that's about when I started. So I had some headway on my graphic novel and was really hoping to finish it. And that was one of the impetus of us starting the art check. Was you and I, Corey, were talking about the books we were finishing up, and the fact that it helps to have somebody keep you accountable. Because a lot of the time when you're working on a big project, it can feel like you're kind of in like a isolation tank or something. Mm-hmm. And then when you get feedback from people, it's not like really direct. And then there's a lot of people who won't actually give you a lot of feedback. I love that. It's great. Jay. Jay said he painted stuff and experienced more hair loss. I like that.
I just the hair loss.
Ooh, and Frank says, I did my first mini comic, just printed it out last week and gave out some copies. That's awesome.
That's right.
That
was kind of cool because this is before I really knew either of you too well. And I think you had me on Artcasters a couple times, mainly just because my evenings are free. And if somebody would flake out on you or whatever, you'd be like, Corey's probably not doing anything. And we would always talk afterwards. And then it was like, I was kind of experiencing some kind of lag in the book that I was working on. And you were experiencing some motivational kind of lack in your comic. So we were like, we should just like, I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning and we both had work in the morning. It was like, we should just like do something. And you threw off like really fast. You're like, just like, what you've done, what was hard about it, and what you're going to do. And so I like noted that down. And the next day you had completely forgotten what the 3 categories were. And I think had to be reminded what the 3 categories were for the first like 60 episodes or something.
Of course. Yeah. I probably still forget.
You guys should, so you don't forget or anyone else doesn't forget, you should probably put together some kind of a book or like a notebook for the Artcasters or for the art check.
Really good idea that maybe in the future, past the 200s, we might introduce. Actually, I think that would be helpful for me to remember too. That is something I'm planning on doing in the future. Just to tease this, I think we can thoroughly say after several hundred hours of doing this over the course of a better part of a year or more,
that this works really well. And
Yeah.
we've had other people do it, some modified versions of it, and it works. And I think it works for a number of reasons, which we can get into, and we have gotten into later. But we are going to do like just a little simple booklet. It's not going to be super expensive, where you can keep track of this with a partner, and so that you can say, one of you can write down, in those 3 categories what you did, and then what they did, and then the next day in 2 days later when you're checking in with each other again, you just open that book and just kind of like, okay, what did we say last time? Oh, okay, yeah. How did that go? And so it can kind of carry over.
Yeah. When you guys do make that, I'm definitely going to get one for myself, because I'll write that stuff down, but it's on a sheet of paper here, sheet of paper there. But it'd be nice to have it in like one place in one booklet. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think it'll be cool. And we'll have Josh draw something for the cover, so it'll look amazing. Okay, so that was kind of the impetus of this whole thing.
And
go ahead.
So originally, like, that was kind of the impetus, and then since then I've accomplished a lot, but I actually finished this graphic novel that I've invested years into. And part of why I think I even finished was due to the 48-hour Artcheck, and then also Artcasters, and just kind of having, Corey's favorite word, accountability buddies, to kind of keep me in line and make sure I'm making progress. And we've talked about this before, but one of the great things about having other artists involved that you admire or you respect is that within that, you also have like a sense of self-accountability, just in the sense of like, I know Scott's going to show a lot of cool stuff. I know Corey's going to show a lot of cool stuff. I don't want to come empty-handed, and that's a really good motivation to actually bring stuff to. So yeah, I finished the comic. I also really missed playing live music with people, and so I actually started a band and recorded right now what we're finishing up, which is an EP. Weathered multiple fires, right. Like both literal and metaphorical. I've had a lot of really interesting moments happen during this, and it's been really cool. Got to meet one of my favorite Monty Python members.
I remember that. They asked you to do a poster
for Gallery 1988. And then also we all, and I'm sure this will touch all of us, but we all did, short stories for the 100 Days of Making Comics anthology #2. It's just been and then a ton of freelance as well mixed in there. So it's been a really cool ride. And like I said, one of the things that I really admire about doing this with Corey and Scott as well is just the idea of you just don't feel as isolated, like on an island, when you're working on personal projects. And that in itself, I think is really worth the Artcheck. So
yeah. And you guys
met Scott. Yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a lot. I met Corey as well early on in the Artchecks. We met in LA. So
we've each met each other's, but we haven't all met together yet. We were hoping we'd be able to do that this year, but might have to wait.
Yeah,
we'll have to see. Yeah, well, I don't even think I've reached the end limit here of your Instagram to where I recognize all of these pages, so I don't even think we've got to the end. So you've produced a ton of stuff. Since you started this thing.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, and quite a lot of pages done. So I think that's a thing that, like I said, it's nice to have that system to kind of in place. I also forgot I went to Seattle. A lot of interesting times. So yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Was that Jim Lujan up there?
It looks Jim Lujan.
It is.
It is Jim Lujan.
All right. Anyhow, so Jim's officially been on here in name and in presence.
Yeah. Yeah, we might bring Jim on to tease something that I started doing when we get to me. But yeah,
I love it. All right, Scott, why don't you wanna go through yours?
I'll do my best. I didn't know we were doing this, so I'm not totally prepared, but I'm gonna try to remember some of the stuff. I got a lot. I think I got a lot done. I was pretty productive, I think, partially because the previous year I had got laid off from my job, so I had a lot more time to work on stuff.
Sorry, we're just teasing. We're using Chris's comment to tease Josh because Josh should go to Artcheck Con. No, to go to Creative South,
which may not happen. So we'll see.
Well, you can be there in spirit and on YouTube because we'll make videos, I'm sure. But, sorry, go ahead, Scott.
So
I think streaming through your YouTube channel would probably be the best, right?
You mean to pull up on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm not gonna. I probably won't get to that right yet, but or my website. I don't know. I mean, if you're quick enough, you can figure out where to go based on what I'm talking about. But that might be hard.
I should chime in and I mean, you should mention your website, but I should also mention I think we all did that. New websites.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I did that in that time span or if that was before that. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I'll just say.
I think it was before you were joining us regularly, but it was during the Artcheck.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So launched. Then I'll start with launching a website. I also I launched my first digital product, the Comic Maker Toolkit. I think before the Artcheck started, I had the starter kit, but I launched the Comic Maker Toolkit. I also launched a couple font packs. Working on some other stuff. I launched a Patreon. What else did I do? I know there's more. I did Inktober. That's on the Instagram. I did Inktober all 31 days or whatever. Let's see. I started working or building the Comic Maker or Making Comics 101 series, and I launched that this year, and that's been going strong. What else did I do? Man, I know there's a lot. Let's see.
You did a couple conventions.
Yeah. I did AIGA, the Phoenix Design Week. I did Creative South. I did a bunch of store signings, like just local comic shops. Yeah, a lot of stuff. What else? Oh, I launched. I think the newsletter. No, I may have had the newsletter already, but definitely the Patreon.
I think the giveaway to build the newsletter was around that time, which really helped the newsletter, I think.
Well, that's the starter kit. So I'm not. Yeah. But in any case, I've been putting out stuff on the newsletter. I started just recently getting into the merch by Amazon. I got my first Prism tier because I'm out of tier 1. Hopefully, I'll get Prism or get the tier 2, so I don't have to keep wearing this thing. I'll get my second one, and then after the second, I'll do one show at the second one, and I'll get rid of it. But I'm still a ways off. I think I've sold a total of 16, and I got to sell 25. So,
am I crazy to think you also successfully kickstarted Young and the Dead issue 3? I think that happened since 2018. Yeah.
Was it really? Wow, man. Okay. Then I did that. I'm sure I'm leaving some stuff out, but I would say that's not a bad track record right there. And also something that a few people in the chat may know about and maybe have, but I haven't really officially announced it. But I talked about the KDP, which is a Kindle Direct Publishing. So I've got a series of books right now. There were 5 now. I just launched 2 more. And I'm going to be launching more of those, and I will be letting people know about those. I'll probably do a video about them. So that's the other thing I'm kind of knee deep in right now, with the shirts and the book publishing.
Explain the mysterious tear that.
Well, I kind of did a
appeared
little
on your
bit, but
face.
so yeah. And there was a comment. Some I forget who was it. I don't remember. Who was it that? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, it was back in the chat. Somebody was asking about it. But yeah, so basically I was given a challenge that so when you start with this merch by Amazon, you start in this 10 tier, which means you can upload 10 t-shirts and you have to sell 10 t-shirts before you can get out. So these guys said, well, if you sell 10 shirts, will you get a prison tier? And so I said, sure. And so I've got that. And then if I sell the 25, then I'll get the other one. So it's just kind of a fun thing we're doing right now. But
make it happen, you guys. Two prison tiers.
Well, I don't even know if the link's in there because do we have a link somewhere?
Is it not this?
Yeah, that's it. So Amazon.com/shop/Circworks. There's some shirts on there. I've got some other stuff.
Prison tiers.
Yeah, the only thing that, and I've been really trying to get the keywords and stuff. When we did Artcasters last week, we had BJ Dell on, who is kind of the person that through one of his videos, I kind of learned how to do like the Kindle Direct publishing. And he's also doing merch and stuff. So he gave some pointers, but a lot of it is a lot of it's the marketing and the keywords. So I think I'm doing pretty well considering I just started off on this thing, but I don't think really I've sold any shirts that I haven't directly like sent people to. So I'm a little worried that maybe my keyword game isn't as strong as I thought it would be.
I think it might take time.
Yeah. But I mean, like I did a few Valentine's Day shirts. They didn't do anything yet. I got some St. Patrick's Day ones that maybe that still, there's still some time on that. So I'll see if anything happens with that. But yeah, I'd like to, hopefully I can start selling some organic stuff that people are just stumbling upon. And so we'll see.
I love it.
I want to point out that Kayla learned to use a lot of the Adobe Creative Cloud, legitimately started doing graphic design and created a cool animation, and started an Artcheck with Caitlin, and will be recording episode 40 on Friday. So that's
really how it's done, Kayla. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm trying to keep up with all the comments, but there's quite a few, so that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot, Scott. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, I still feel like, I don't know. I mean, that could be challenges, but I still feel like I could be doing more, or I'm not getting as much done as I want to. But
I wanna talk about that.
Okay.
So let's pin that, because Josh and I was having an existential crisis. Just kidding. I was having an existential moment the other night, and Josh was like, "Yeah, this could be a good 200 episode thing." But before we do that, this is kind of some of the stuff that I did. So I did my first convention. This is the convention. I did Inktober again, where let's see if I can get to that. So there's I was kind of making fun of fan art. No offense to those that do fan art, because I also do fan art, but I was kind of mocking it. And so I did this big giant poster where I had 30 something mashups of characters that don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I started
the Charlie Brown, Abraham Lincoln is still my favorite of those.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah. I like the Popeye the Barbarian and the Goku as man at arms. Anyway, but yeah, I started getting, I had already kind of figured out animation a little bit prior to starting this, because I did the 100 days of animation, but then I started kind of committing to it a little bit more. I did kind of an intro to my YouTube channel, which I thought was kind of fun. And so you can kind of see some of that. And that was kind of where I started doing some of that stuff. Here's some pages from the anthology. I did another sticker stint, more animation. These characters ended up in my animated short. So yeah, there's a lot of this is the animated short stuff. And that kind of brings us up here. So I don't know if I saw this anywhere, but I also finished, which is the whole point of this. I finished my children's book.
Mm-hmm.
So finished children's book, did a couple sticker stints, got more solidly into animation, started several things. Started this show. I think that counts, right? Josh started this, and then I also when we cut back to 2 days a week instead of 3 days a week, kind of filling that gap now with Jim Lujan. In a moment we'll have him on, but yeah, and so there's some of that. So anyway, that's kind of it, really. I mean, it was just I don't know. I feel like I didn't get
it's a crazy amount of work.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It feels weird talking about it, but I used to take a lot of shots like this. And Josh was always telling me that I'm putting too much detail in if I'm inking with a brush at that size. But I like that size. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. And then there's some other stuff I read at my website and things like that. And yeah, I mean, let's see. If I go here, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed.
Well, you've done quite a bit of animations. I mean, you rough cut an animation that we collaborated on. After that, you kind of made that animation with Scott that was just kind of mind blowing, where like the puppet stuff started getting introduced.
That was cool because I learned a ton on that one.
Yeah, you've like within the process of this Artcheck, I feel like you've made some of the biggest. Actually, it's been cool to see both of you guys' progress, because like Scott kind of around the time we started this Artcheck, like Scott was going full-time freelance, and that was like a tenuous kind of a risky thing.
Still
and yet, but here you are, and you're still doing it, which is rad. That's hard to pull off. And then Corey, like you've like the evolution of your animation has really been like it for you. It might feel very slow, but for me, just thinking back to like 2018, you were already pretty good at animation, but the progress you've made since. It makes perfect sense that you're going to be doing a show about animation now, because it's like you've really made like massive leaps and bounds, I think, in the time we've been doing this Artcheck in animation, to where you're doing stuff now where my mind's just like I can't even process.
You should tune in tomorrow on Animation Conversation when I have I reveal all my tips and secrets.
I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's so that's kind of a highlight overview. I also adopted my son.
That's right.
So that was cool. He's still not walking, but is 18 months old, and he's starting to talk a lot, like repeat people's words and stuff. So it's really funny. I forgot to bring this up. This is pretty major way to combat my my imposter syndrome, but I haven't updated this in a little bit, but I finished my first animated short. I submitted it to a bunch of festivals. It is playing worldwide. It's just kind of weird. It's playing in Slovakia and Rome and London and
Brevia.
Brevia, yes.
You need to put a fake one up there for Brevia.
Jim needs to give me an award from Brevia. That's what I want. I want a statue. The joysticks and sliders newsy animation. I've used that as an example in class.
That was fun.
So yeah. Anyway, it's. That was good. Good times. Good 200 episodes. And it happened really fast. I mean, Kayla's on 40 and it seems like she just started.
Yeah.
So if you're doing 2 or 3 of these a week, they add up really quick. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, so there's lots of cool stuff. Okay. Did I miss anybody? I kind of want to see anybody in the
There was one thing that I didn't mention. You guys kind of did mention it, but I didn't. But yeah, something that did take a lot of time that I did was working on the 100 is of Making Comics anthology. So because I also did the cover for that, and I did the forward. So
the beautiful cover for that.
And I forgot to mention this. I did the animated intro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was the first.
That was awesome.
First time I mixed live action and animation and raster graphics instead of vector graphics.
Yeah, and it was one of the best looking Kickstarter videos I've seen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like overall we had a pretty good run for like this thing, and we've made a lot of progress. Which
now
is
it's over. We'll see you guys later. Never talking to you again.
Bye. Kemble2020.com.
Oh man. Yeah. So anyway, it's fun. Let me see. Okay, I've got this up. Let me just show. I just want to show this. I'll mute the sound, but let me bring this up. Chris didn't know that was your cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is the animation where is the first time I mix the vector, raster, photographs that are cut up plus live action. Also the first time I did 3D lighting. And so this is all separated in Z space. And then the lighting of it is lit with floating fake lights inside of, so I can do vignettes wherever I want, and I can control them. So as the camera moves, they get brighter and darker, different things. So I built a set in 3D, and then I just moved the camera around in 3D, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
So that was kind of fun. And my favorite thing was all the little stupid monster hands that came up, like the claws. Let's see, where are those claws? Yeah, right here. They open and shut.
I love all the little dials and gizmos on that TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I took those. So that's like a pressure gauge off of a gas thing, and then there's camera parts, and so yeah, I tried to mix it so it looks weird. But this you can tell that these are aperture and shutter speed. This is a timer on an old vintage mid-century oven. Yeah, it was kind of fun. So that one was kind of fun. I enjoyed doing that. And my favorite hands are these ones, these these octopus arms. I should use these more for something. I need to come back to, instead of making assets every time, I need to come back and do more stuff with stuff I've already made. So
I love that.
That was something. That was fun. Abe says he name dropped us to Jake Parker. That's cool.
Nice.
Was that in person or in his chat? I actually, I probably should mention. I did reach out to Jake Parker once through email, and he never got back to me because he said something on a podcast because he was moving back here to Arizona, and he said something about getting to know or meeting some of the community out here. Yeah.
I think his mom died at the same time.
Well, I think that's probably why. I think it was after. I think that's why you moved back here. Something having to do with that. But yeah, so
because he just barely posted a video, kind of saying I'm back, I've recovered. Yeah. I was kind of so he was probably super busy at the time. Jake's yeah. Dude. Okay, so all right, I want to talk about this. I'm not sure exactly where to go with this, but I'm just curious. I noticed as we were talking about what we're going to do for this episode, I started to get really, really uncomfortable, and not depressed, but just weird, low feelings. And I realized that I subconsciously do not look back.
Yeah.
And I very rarely look forward. And I think it has something to do with, I'm not sure if this is the draw for me to existentialism, which is I enjoy being in the moment. But I kind of have this nagging thing. I think if I ever sat back and rested on my laurels, I'd be really unhappy because I wouldn't be producing stuff. And so I think mentally, as a way of like continuing to be productive, I don't really think about it surprises me when people are like, you've done a ton of stuff. I'm like, really? I feel like I never get anything done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think mentally my mind has convinced me that I have to keep working hard because I've never finished anything. But it's weird to think that I finished a bunch of stuff, and then it's weird to think about the past.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I was like, "Oh, this is strange. I don't like it." So I'm just curious. What do you think?
So I mean, when we were talking about this episode, I think you and I both were kind of like, well, we don't really think much about the past, and so it's like it's one of those, which is funny because I'm writing an autobio comic that's like about the past. But in general, like I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about like the past in my career. And whenever I do, it's usually in a like, okay, this is the lesson I picked up from that I'm applying right now. And that's kind of the only ways that I ever really implement the past. So it's interesting as an exercise. I think it can be helpful because like, you know, like I think from just this exchange, it's like, I think all of us had moments of like, oh yeah, I forgot that thing, you know? And it's good to kind of remember, like you've actually made journeys and to note the progress, right? Because otherwise you can kind of feel like, well, I haven't really gotten much done. But I do think there's a danger to kind of like dwelling too much on the past or focusing too much on your successes in the past when like for me, it's just like I have too much to do now. And so it's like today, the only thing I really am thinking about on an art level is not like any previous comic I've done in my life. It's literally just, I need to format this book. I need to, you know what I mean? It's very present. It is overwhelming to think too far in the future or too far in the past. It kind of reminds me of that trope of, you know, like depression is looking into the past and anxiety is looking into the future, right, and contentment is today. But I do feel like that is something unique because I think when we were all gearing up for this, I think that was a pretty shared sentiment of like, well, yeah, I mean, we can do a recap thing, but it's so weird to do a recap thing because we don't, I don't often recap. So I guess what I was thinking with it is something that I like to think about in management, because one of the things about management and about leading other people is you have to be self-analytical. And I know you guys know this to be true because like anytime you're leading a group of people, you have to be able to analyze yourself. And there's a destructive way to analyze yourself, and then there's an objective way to analyze yourself where you can see weaknesses and points to grow in.
Right.
And the only purpose of analyzing yourself or looking into the past should be kind of like almost like when you're driving, the reason you have a rear view mirror, you know, it's like if you start driving and all you pay attention to is the rear view mirror, you're going to crash.
Yeah.
And if you start driving and you don't pay any attention to the rear view mirror, you can really end up with some crazy accidents. So the purpose of the rear view mirror is to move you forward. And I think like, as corny as that is, that at least that framing helps me to, whenever I do, like even in a scenario like this, where it's like, hey, we're at 200, we got to do a bit of a recap. It helps me to kind of constructively look at past things. But once again, I've always been amazed by people who can like vividly remember every accomplishment for like, you know, a couple years or whatever. Cause like for me, it like right now I'm like, I just want to finish my album and finish my book and get it out. Yeah. And I'm not even thinking about the books I've done, you know?
Okay. So here's what got it going for me. Cause I was trying to think like what was it? I said, you know, Josh said, it's kind of rad since the whole thing was our books, keep personal projects going, a whole journey with animation. And I said, yeah, it'll be interesting. And then I thought, I wonder if I'll ever land on something. In the last few years, I've done comics, children's books, stickers, moving illustrations, animated shorts. And I know it's all somewhat related, but I feel really fickle sometimes. And the reason that it started to get to me was because my whole life, I haven't really known how to like define myself. I haven't really known how to say, this is who I am and this is what I do. Like my jobs were always a little bit amorphous, like, and like just in the last, in the first in the first 6 years of my career after college, I changed my career like 3 times, like major career changes, not different companies, but like doing completely different things. And then just since we've started this, like I've gone from, since like 2012, I've gone from not drawing at all to doing a webcomic to, kind of like, and I just evolved. And now I'm doing animation. And it's like, I just wonder, I remember the reason this bugs me. I remember having a conversation with somebody, and I was lamenting the fact that I never seemed to be satisfied with what the processes are at work, because I was always trying to optimize and fix and improve and whatever. And I just saw a lot of people who were just like, whatever it is, it's fine. And he said, you don't realize that you'll never be satisfied with anything. That's just kind of who you are. And I was like, oh, I think partially that's good, because I do have like a drive to improve and change and reinvent. And I think I probably reinvent too much, but like, I think it's bad because I don't know. Like,
I think
who am I and what do I do?
I think that's a sign of creativity, though, because I think there are a lot of people who are kind of content, and weirdly enough, like perfect contentment can kind of lead to nothing. like meaning if I'm content with my art, like I'm happy with my comic, like if I ever make like the perfect comic, why would I ever make another comic? Like to me, it always can be improved. And part of the thing that keeps me driven, and it doesn't lead to like the greatest happiness or whatever, but for me, I'm constantly discontent. Like I constantly look at systems, whether it's governmental systems, whether it's like my own system of creating art, the system that's structured at my work, like just systems in general, and see ways that the cogs could work better. And it bugs me, and I want to fix them, and I want to make them better. and to me, like that's kind of half the fun of it. Is like I just think the only way that gets destructive is if you go kind of down the counter level, where it's like you're, instead of looking at ways to fix the system, you're just like, oh, the system's done. It's just, it can't be improved. It's just the way it is. Or if you get complacent and you're just like, yeah, I'm cool with the system. I think part of what makes art and my run for president, Kemble2020.com, is fixing systems. No, but my point is just like, for me, at least half the drive to like make music and make art and stuff like that is literally like to try to challenge and make the system better, whether that's like my own system of creating art, or whatever. But I feel like if you're not doing that, you're not really doing art. You got to be kind of trying. I don't know. Yeah, always iterating like Tony Stark. I like that, Chris. We should have Chris on.
Yeah, we should.
We should actually. Yeah. Anyhow.
We could. I'm curious. We could throw some links out and invite some people on for a couple minutes. I don't know. We've been doing it for an hour, but it is episode 200. So
you're the master of the board.
I'm like super thirsty. Can I get a refill while I'll jump back? Be right back.
All right, I'm gonna see if we can have. If you are interested in coming on briefly and sharing with us, kind of your accomplishments over the last little bit, let me know. I don't know, Facebook or Twitter or something, and I'll get you a link. I'll keep Facebook and Twitter open. We'll see if we'll see if we can get Jim on, or if you're connected to, if you are connected to Josh, you can message Josh. Yeah, let's see. So, yeah. So anyway, it was kind of an interesting thing. I remember in college, I changed my major 5 times.
Yeah.
I mean, I just always had kind of a restless, I don't want to say dissatisfied because I'm not unhappy. But a lot of the times I have, I just want to try new things. I think that's why I'm fascinated with animation right now, is because I think I could learn new things about animation for like the rest of my life. So how's it going, Jim?
What the?
You're here.
Jim.
Oh my gosh. How did
You
you
know,
access my camera?
Well, you took the tape off of your camera, and so I hacked into it. So,
Okay.
and I must say,
I tuned into this show for informative, instructional information, and I saw comedy, and I'm really, really upset right now about that.
well, yeah, don't worry, it won't happen again. We're only funny.
I'm sorry you're upset, Jim, but it is a compliment coming from somebody of your humorous stature that you actually found it funny, even though you didn't enjoy it being funny.
Comedy upsets me. So,
Oh, Jim, on this show, you're going to have to argue with the captions, by the way. So just know that there's a caption fight that will be
Jim
happening.
Lujan, yeah, thank you. Are those real people, or is that
What? I'm just
robots?
talking about Jim Lujan.
All right. Nice. Congratulations on 200 shows, by the way.
Hey, thanks.
That's really awesome.
Thanks, Jim.
I'll be really honest, and I've told Corey this. I probably have told you this, Josh, at dinner at some point. But like, I've always thought like Artchecks and 100 Days of Comics and all that stuff is a very, very fine line, between taking time from doing stuff. So I've never like done those things myself. However, I will say this: the 48-hour Artcheck has made me a believer, because I've seen you guys actually make a lot of progress, and
That's right.
it has been very addicting watching you guys. So congratulations. It's become the real deal. I'm giving my stamp of approval finally.
Okay,
I
so
love it.
you are responsible for one of the things that I've done in the 200 episodes, and I'm curious, what was your reasoning for going from I never really want to do that stuff to I'm going to reach out to Corey and see if he wants to do a show with me?
I'm a publicity whore, and
Okay, fair enough.
that was my main reason. Other than that, no, I honestly, it sounds very corny and very prepared, but I really want to have other people make films. I want to inspire other people, just like I've seen creators and been like, oh my God, that makes me want to make a film. I want to do that. And there's a Russian bot. There's a Rousian bot? Russians. Those Russians.
That's your next country to do a video.
It's near
north of Brezhnev is Russia.
Right.
But
they have been conquered. Sorry, I'm trying to.
I'm trying to hide it, and I think we're both trying to hide it. We're like,
3D
we don't
effect
need Russian
there.
bots. There's an election coming up. Anyhow.
But yeah, that's the reason. I want to inspire other people to do films. And then also we'll say this, and we talked about this earlier, Corey, the Indie-mation Conversation show for me has always been meant to have a limited lifespan. Like I never foresaw doing it like, oh, we'll do it for 10 years. I thought we'd do maybe 10, 15 episodes, and it would be kind of evergreen so people can go back and watch them.
Mm-hmm.
But we mentioned something today, Corey, that's kind of interesting. What if we did those 10, 15, 20, whatever shows, and then handed it off to somebody, like a real animator, another real animator? Like
The next generation.
Exactly.
Indie animators.
Yeah. And animated filmmakers too. That's a big deal for me, because a lot of people animate, but how many people make stories? Short films and films.
Yeah, I barely squeaked by because I think I just barely finished the first and only animated short I've ever done. And then you're like, hey.
Yeah, you're the real deal. I've seen stuff that people haven't seen yet that you haven't unleashed on the public, and it's scarily good. So it's
thanks.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
Corey's like
a
sometimes
monster.
with animation, Corey's like, oh, it's super easy. What I did is I took the algorithm and I reprogrammed it. And
that's usually where I get lost is when he's like, yeah, you just fluctuate, the whatever algorithm. And you're
now
like,
when I blink my eyes twice, he makes an A shape with his mouth. Snap my fingers, he does the twist.
It's all on After Effects. It's easy. You can learn it.
Jim. But
okay, my students are super sick of hearing this, but I have videos on all of that. You guys can learn it.
I believe it. That's the other thing. You not only are you doing it, you're documenting it. I would use sock puppets if it worked. I don't know how you do it, but
I do think Jim and Corey and Scott, we should talk about an alternate sock puppet show because I am so down.
Alternate sock puppet show is a really good band.
Yeah, they were great. Like
their later stuff's too commercial.
I kind of feel like
I like their second album a lot.
Yeah. That was good stuff. Hey, can I tell you what my favorite moment of the Artcasters is?
What is your favorite?
Besides Scott when he paralyzed himself and when he fell.
I was actually worried about that one.
That was scary.
Can't get up.
That was legitimately scary.
That was like those little kid videos where they fail videos, but you like little girl falls off a swing and you're like, that's kind of not funny.
Right.
I was like, that was full commitment, and that's going to be an injury for life. I could just tell you right now.
Yeah, like I said, I used to do that all the time.
Favorite Artcaster moment. Nobody else is going to think this is their favorite, but was when Josh, when you quit vaping and you had one angry episode of Artcaster where you were pissed. You were like MMA cage fighter, like ready to go. Like I could just tell you were like this. Yeah. Like, go ahead, somebody.
Yeah, that nicotine rage, man.
Oh my gosh.
So one thing I want to say about Jim, now that we're on publicly too, is like the cool thing about Jim, and I think this is possibly a secret alternative on the animation show, is that Jim's always facilitating connections with other artists. And you really like community and art. And as much as you were kind of joking about the 48-hour art check, it's like you go out of your way to kind of bring other artists together and meet up and connect and talk about process and support and stuff like that. And honestly, even the meetups we were doing in LA were kind of an inspiration for the Artcheck, weirdly enough, because it was just that kind of contact with other artists where you're holding each other accountable, you're making sure you're making progress. It's super important and fundamental for art. So like, honestly, I'm stoked you're doing it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to draw a tear and then we can all have tears at some point.
Oh my, I was going to tell Scott to get that checked out. But it's a tear. Okay.
Yeah.
So for those who might just be joining, as well as Jim, if you guys buy more of Scott's t-shirts, there can be 2 tiers. Hashtag prison tiers.
Yeah, Frank,
trying to get him there.
Frank said he just bought the I forgot the Fueled by Sriracha with the giant rooster sriracha.
Oh right.
That's one step closer to a second tier, guys. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so Jim. Oh, and while we're talking to the audience, if you want to come on, I know a couple people have mentioned that they may or may not come on. Message me or message Josh, and we'll get you a link to come on. I would just post it publicly, but one time we had we like opened it up and we had somebody come in that wanted to like do weird like stuff. So
yeah.
Really?
I think we've had a few anti-Semitic
episode of Artcaster.
I mean, it was like weird Nazi stuff that he was posting in the chat. I couldn't like ban him quick enough, but he almost
actually wanted to come on the show or just in the chat.
No, it was a time where we were like, yeah, anybody who wants to come on, and I almost posted the link in the chat.
I think he got the address. I think he was trying to get on the Aryan casters. That's a
different.
It's like
sorry guys, my bad.
Don't every time.
Anyway, so Jim, I want to know what have you done? Major highlights from May of 2018 to now.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
It's like a really arbitrary date. That's just the first episode of the Art Check.
That's funny because that's exactly what the police asked me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, where were you on May 2018?
May 2018. I think I was just finishing Infinity Pool, 30-minute movie, I think.
That sounds about right.
I'm trying to remember when I started All That Glitters. That
When
was
did you
2019.
do?
No, I was working on Infinity Pool, I think.
Okay.
May 2018.
When was Revengeance with Bill Plimpton?
That was started in 2000. I can't remember if we started in 2016 or it was released in 2016.
Okay.
God, I don't know. I give up. When was it? Tell me the right answer. What is 2015?
I have no idea.
I honestly don't know. I don't remember now.
So do you make
streaming at all? Because I've been waiting to see that.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me put this. Go ahead.
He's gonna do it. Okay. Yes, I'm very proud of it.
Tell us about it.
You can watch Revengeance for free now on Tubi. It's an app. It's like Netflix or something like that. And actually, it is fantastic. This Tubi it's kind of like a YouTube and a Netflix mix. It's for any smart TV or whatever, but it has the best movies. It's got tons of Charles Bronson movies, and it's got Chuck Norris movies, and it's ridiculous. It's got a lot of really good ones.
How do you spell it? Tubi with a Y?
Tubi.
Oh, BI. Okay.
Yeah, and so through this distribution company called Shout Factory, they have access to Bill Plimpton's catalog, and that's how Revengeance got on there.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, you can go watch Revengeance right now as much as you want.
Worth watching. Worth mentioning. Also, Jim did like the entire music soundtrack to it too, and Jim not only is a good animator but an excellent musician as well. So,
why, thank you. The soundtrack is
soundtrack.
Very, very good. The movie's terrible. It's awful. It's horrible. But the soundtrack is so good. So
I'd say they both are in harmony with awesomeness.
I say that with love. I'm joking.
I'm excited to see the movie. I haven't quite seen it yet, but the music.
And we're doing a show together.
I know.
We haven't experienced
Betrayal
film.
Okay, so Scott, I'm thinking that we've been doing a show for a while. I'm thinking we need to cut Corey. He hasn't seen Revengeance.
I've seen Revengeance. I haven't.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Oh,
No,
hey, Corey.
I haven't seen Revengeance. I've seen I've seen Infinity Pool and I've seen All the Glitters, but I haven't seen Revengeance yet.
Yeah.
But that's because it didn't come to my city, or maybe you did come to Arizona, but I think was it Tucson or
what city are you in?
Well, the closest city would be Phoenix.
Phoenix. I have family in Tucson.
Did you show it out somewhere out here?
I think he showed it in Phoenix. I wasn't there, but I think he showed it in Phoenix. I tell you, Revengeance. I didn't go to any of these countries, but Revengeance is played in Armenia. It's played in Lebanon. It's played in Germany, Brazil, France, England. I think Holland. Burbank.
Yeah, Burbank's a crazy country, dude.
Yes. But I went to the screening, the opening in Portland, so that was cool. Mm-hmm. But the best experience. I had such fun making it, and it was. I have nothing but good things to say about Bill Plimpton and everything.
It's got to be an honor because I don't think he's never really partnered with anybody else like that. Everything else is all his own stuff. So,
and I made sure he'll never do it again. No, yeah, he's never done that before. I'm helping him out with his next film, so that's really cool. That's gonna look more like a Bill Plimpton film. It should, not a Jim Lujan film, because I think a lot of people were surprised. They're like, this doesn't look like Bill Plimpton's normal stuff.
I have to say though, I loved it because it was like having known you and then seeing like Bill Plimpton doing like a Jim Lujan cover was like, whoa, this is
I know, isn't
amazing.
that
It's so cool.
I felt it felt great, but it was kind of like awkward a little bit because I was thinking like as a fan, I'm like, are they wanting Bill Plimpton style, and then they get my style, but it's a huge compliment, and I thought the drawings and everything looked great. Hey Josh,
check it out.
How long have we known each other, Josh? Let's do the math.
Oh, holy crap!
It's been a long time.
This is going to be a long time. It's going to be crazy.
And I ran into you at Long Beach. There was a benefit for somebody that passed away, and then we both mutually
Lisa.
And we both mutually knew, we had a connection with her, but not through each other. Mm-hmm. I remember that because I saw you there at the thing. I'm like, Josh, and you're like, Jim.
Yeah. And then we kind of knew each other through podcasting. So
yeah, through Kevin. All things through Kevin.
Yeah, it's been madness. Yeah, that's how I met this crazy guy, Scott Cirkland. Don't mess with him, man. He's got prison taters.
We got the one. I gotta shank another person to get
full and his prison tater. I'll throw you down the stairs or himself down the stairs.
We're gonna do it.
Taylor both here.
Yes.
First, we've got
right.
on.
Nice shirt, Frank.
All right, we got Frank, we got Kayla.
Hey,
yeah.
So, Jim, you had mentioned this really quick. You were talking about something. I think this is what you were talking about, but this is something that I'm playing with right now.
Is Frank's name spelled right? The last name on it?
He spelled it, so I hope so.
Frank, I hope.
I don't know, but I'm getting such a kick out of hearing Jim talk about Frank and seeing those lips move on the screen. I think Jim needs to voice this character.
Wow.
Yes, Jim.
Look how good your drawings are, man. That's ridiculous. And you can animate.
Yeah, it's insane.
Anyway, but this is what I do in my life. Is I saw Jim was showing me. He's like, hey, this is how I do the lip sync, and then I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to steal that. So anyway, Kayla, tell us what you've done since May of 2018.
So I started college as a communications major, and then joined visual communications, met you in January, and then actually started legitimately doing graphic design, started to learn animation a little bit, and then April I did my 13-week-long animation, which mixed video, like raster video, with vector animations.
Yeah, that's cool. You did like motion tracking and stuff.
Yeah, so I had like a brain. I don't have a way to show it. But I have like this silhouette that I filmed of this guy, and he holds like a light box up, and I masked it so it looks like a phone. And then I made an animated brain, and every time he swipes on the phone, a new social media app flips on, and the whole brain flickers in whatever color that social media app was.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And so it motion tracks to his head when he looks at it, and then when he comes back up, and it just loops. It's pretty cool. It's like, yeah.
Another animator smarter than me. Great.
She would come into, there's like 3 or 4 professors, and she would come in and just get little pieces of information of how to do it. She had no idea what she's doing before that.
Kayla, do you want to see my latest animation?
Yes.
There it is. It's an action movie. That's a knife and a gun.
Is that the title? That's a knife and a gun?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
For that.
It's a good working title.
That's the best.
Frank, what are some major? I got to put Frank full screen because his shirt is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's a great shirt. Red one. I got the red one too.
I own that shirt. I can't remember if I got it in dark blue or black, but
I love it.
What have you done? What are some 1 or 2 major accomplishments since we started this whole thing? You've been with us for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I did my mini comic,
Oh, cool.
Right.
and I made a custom version.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I
That's
and I
great.
launched a Teespring store. I put up some designs. So,
Awesome.
I've been doing that, and I got these
Ah,
that I bought.
Yeah.
that's kind of the world premiere. I haven't even talked about them yet, but yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's a little preview of my workbooks that I've got that I'll be promoting soon. I want to get a few more reviews on them, and then I'm actually I might do some paid promotion on those for Amazon, but I'll probably do a video on them and everything. But
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're workbooks. There's one with like thumbnails, so you can do all your thumbnails in them. There's some that have just like blank, like male and female, like character poses, front, back, and side view, and then one that actually it's got
And they'll-
just a front view. Yeah, there's one that's a front view, and then it's got like stats, so you can make up your own heroes. So whether you're like an adult, like and you want to actually create comics, or if you're like a kid that just wants an activity book, it works for everyone. So
There you go, you guys. You're getting exclusives here on the 48-hour Art Check. That's right.
yeah, and you can find that same link that we put up for the t-shirts. That'll take you to my influencer page, and you can actually find those there if you want to check those out. You have that up? I don't know where that little thing is.
Yeah. We'll put
Is
it
it just me, or could we totally do like There's the Story theme song right now with this grid?
we need 3 more people.
They'll
The
copy
youngest
that.
one in Charles.
I have a Jim is the young blonde girl in curls. I have a question for Kayla. So Kayla, another thing that you've done is you started your own 48-hour Art Check.
Yes.
And you've been successfully doing that for 39 episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me some thoughts. Why have you kept doing it? Is it just because you're stubborn, or is it beneficial? Or you're really bored?
No, I'm definitely stubborn. No, it's really beneficial. The girl that I do it with, Caitlin, I had mentioned it in passing, because I was like, oh yeah, Professor Kerr does this and I want to do this. And she was like, dude, I want to do it too. Let's go. And so when we started it, we were just like, we're not going to put an end on this. We're just going to go until we get sick of it. And now it's just become like a habitual thing where it's like, it pushes both of us. We've talked about it too. Cause like right now, all I'm doing is like work, and she's just working as well. And so it's actually been like, hey, we need to do personal projects, because we don't just want to sit here and report on like client work. And so plus it's nice too, because I listen to you guys talk about topics all the time, and I can participate from the comments, but Caitlin and I take away so many different topics. And so it's nice just to be able to like just talk about it for an hour, and then whenever the show ends, we'll continue talking about it. And it's just been really nice. Yeah, we have no end in sight. Hopefully we'll hit 200 at some point.
You guys will. You'll probably lap us at some point.
I think you guys outlasted everyone else that started and
fair point.
Didn't get as far as you guys. So
yeah, there were a few that were trying to do it once a week. And they had cool shows. I don't see a lot of them doing it much anymore.
I really miss Gavs and Mike's, and I think
I
I need to
know.
come back.
Gaz and Mike, this is a call from all of your fans out there. I will say this: I need more Gaz, non-Power Rangers Gaz.
Yeah.
With you.
Not that I have anything against the Power Rangers, but I have no context for the Power Rangers, and I love Gaz's other interests as well. So anyway,
part of the reason I've been doing it for so long too is that I see Professor Kerr like every single day. And so if I dropped, I feel like it would be like, yeah, I stopped.
I am an annoying influence in the lives of my students. So yeah,
it's true. Then we could have you as a guest on 48-hour Art Check to be like, so why haven't you done a 48-hour Art Check?
Yeah, we had Emily on the other day.
I know. I see her every Sunday.
Okay, I'd like to wrap it, and let's not really quickly, but let's say just real fast, major goals for the next whatever time period, year and a half. Everybody go around. Let's figure out what we're gonna accomplish in the next the next big thing. Does anybody want to start?
For a year?
Yeah, just what is like the next major thing that you're gonna do in the next 12 to 18 months?
Kayla seemed ready. Yeah, what's up, Kayla? What's your goal?
Yeah, I have an animation planned called the Lies Your Brain Tells.
Oh, cool.
So I want to at least start on that, but I don't know how much I'm biting off. So not going to say finish it, but I want to get a good way into it.
Cool.
Jim, should she finish it or just get a good way into it?
I think you should finish it, but then delete it, and then do it all over again. And then don't show anyone that one, and do it again, and then now it's the show.
Good to know.
That way it's meta, and it's both about the lies your brain tells, and it becomes the lies your brain tells.
I think you should do it and enter it into half a dozen film festivals or something.
Agreed. Yeah. Why not?
Because the worst that they can say is like the 3 rejections that I got today that said, "You suck, we hate you." I thought it was a little harsh, but actually ComArts totally shot me down, and I got 2 other rejections today too. They were very kind though. They're very nice in their rejections.
I'll look into how much it costs.
Some of them are free. Yeah, quite a few of them are free, and a lot of them are just a couple bucks. That's probably Jim and I are going to do before you're ready with that. Jim and I are going to do an episode about cost on film festivals and stuff. So, because he's put on some film festivals, and I entered a bunch. So
I rejected Corey from all of my festivals.
Yeah, which it was slightly awkward, but I understand.
Which is weird because I asked him to enter them.
Right.
So.
Yeah. The severed fish head in the rejection letter was
It's called the Passive Aggressive Film Festival. If you guys want to.
Oddly
enough, you should really enter. You
should really enter, but no, you
shouldn't.
Oddly enough,
but
it's
no.
$150 entrance fee. And he rejects 100% of the people that enter. So
wow. Well, you can put me down. I'll enter the free ones at least.
Yeah,
I'll enter the free ones. You can quote me on this episode.
I love it. Cool. All right. Anyone else who's
I'll do one. I am going to finish a much longer animation. So I don't know the length, and I'll probably do an All That Glitters style where I'm releasing it episodically, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. But I've got the first little bit and the last little bit figured out. And I've started designing a bunch of the characters, and I'm doing the Silmarillion right now, where I'm just doing all the world building.
Did you watch an episode of Real World Building, Corey?
Yes, I did. I know, but that's how I operate. I come up with this giant, expansive 4 trilogy epic thing,
and then microscope in.
Yeah, I've got to whittle it down to something that is that I can do as a single person. But
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So it'll be minimum 30 minutes, if not 60 to 120. So.
Oh, also, I don't know if you guys saw that Jake Parker just put out a video on the world building trap. It's like the first video it's put out in a long time, but it's a really good video.
Yeah, I watched that one too. That was good. All not helpful in my current situation. You do need to do some world building. It's not yeah. So
hopefully I made that clear. Like I said, I mean, you've got comics and you've got projects under your belt. So it's the people kind of just starting off that find themselves in that trap where that's all they're doing and they're not actually getting anything done.
I think I'm too stubborn or stupid. I'm not sure which one to not finish projects.
Yeah.
So
I think both are a good asset. So
yeah, they work.
Keep them up.
In my ignorance, I will finish it one way or another. So.
I love it. Cool. All right. Anyone else? Plans next year?
Frank, you got any
next big project?
Okay, go ahead, Frank.
I got one.
Go ahead, Frank.
Yes. I want to do 2 more mini comics that I already have sketched out. And after I finish those, I want to start a bigger comic, a bigger story of my character Captain Courage. So I want to at least start that this year, and hopefully do a big chunk of it by the end of this year.
I love it.
And
Awesome. I'm looking forward to
maybe
seeing
I'll
that.
animation that.
Oh, you froze. What was that? You said the word animation and then you froze.
That's it for now.
no,
I think
am I back?
You're back now. You're back now. Go ahead.
Hello.
Oh
Okay.
man, we're losing. Yeah.
I want to start an animation.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An animation.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And after
It's cutting out again.
Oh,
I'm
you're cutting
sorry,
out.
dude.
I heard.
But I'm
that-
excited about the animation.
Yeah, I heard that you're going to start an animation. That's going to be.
I think he said something about animation called Frozen or something.
Frozen 3. Yeah.
But that's awesome. That's exciting. I'm imagining it'll tie into the comics, so that's cool. Jim, are you got plans for like the next year?
I do actually. I told myself at the beginning of this year, I said I want to have one big project for this year, which is a sort of a feature-length movie called The Mind of Lars Lazarus that I'm working on. And then I want to have some smaller, really short animations, like 1 minute, 2 minute, just kind of sprinkle those out there. And then I really want to figure out how to build my Patreon, because that feels so good when you do that. and I also want to do a cartwell. One glorious cartwheel.
Noble goal. Noble.
Do you know what that's from, by the way?
No.
It's from The Office.
Oh, I love it. All right.
I was gonna add. I will say I successfully achieved not hurting myself. I went on a daddy-daughter Valentine's dance at my 10-year-old's elementary school or middle school, wherever she's going right now. And before I left, my wife said, "Scarlett, you don't have compression shorts on under your dress. Corey, you are almost 40. Neither of you are allowed to break dance." And so I made it the entire 2 hours with not breakdancing. So,
hey, I just want to ask Frank, are you able to type in the chat what the title of your project is?
yeah, type
it
in
out,
the
'cause you
chat.
gotta
I'd love
cut
to-
now.
Yeah, that way we can.
Okay, Scott, what's a major thing? I mean, you're going to do about 40 things, but what's a major thing you're going to do in the next year?
Okay, so I'm going to continue, the series that I'm working on. The only thing is, even though I've still got a ways to go, I honestly have no idea what I'm going to do after that on my YouTube channel. I guess I could go back to business as usual, but it's like it seems like I need to come up with something else. But so I'm gonna kind of make a sort of a bold statement on here. We'll see, but I want to with what I just started with the KDP and the merch by Amazon. I want to basically 2x right now what I'm doing in freelance. So and that's kind of a lofty goal. But I want to get back up, even back to where I was when I had my full-time job, and doing freelance,
Cool.
and that will be even more than that. So hopefully we'll see. It's all brand new. Hopefully it'll work. I'm kind of put everything into it. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, Scott, I forgot to mention one more thing. My other new project is called Captain Courage Animation. And I'll be starting that soon. And so I just registered the domain and trademarked it. So that's actually, if you guys can't see, that's Frank's project.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So Frank is going to do the Captain Courage animation. Josh, what are you going to do in the next year? You're like, okay, so you've been working for 5 years on one project. You've done a lot of other things, but you have a 5-year project that is soon to be done. So what are you going to do in the next 12 to 18 months?
So, I'm going to finish that project. So that's one thing. So I'll have a graphic. So I'll have a graphic novel at least one
Yeah.
out for sale. I'll have a released EP that's gonna sound badass. So No Saboteurs, which is just some awesome post-punk rock and roll. And I will have headway on the next book in that series. And I'm speculating on releasing another graphic novel that's just been sitting dead, that I've already finished. And depending on how this release goes, I might release that. And then the beauty of it is I actually am kind of open for like a mid project. So I'll be talking to Corey about that and Scott about that when I get to that weird identity shifting moment of like, I don't know what to do. Because right now I feel like a dog with a bone, and I'm just like, I literally can only focus on getting this monster done, and then promoting the hell out of it. So that's my goal, is like to kind of get that done, promote the hell out of it.
I have a suggestion.
Go ahead, Corey.
You started, and I'm assuming never finished, a animated music video for your band.
Mm-hmm.
I think that should be your mid project. With the release of the EP, you could do an animated music video for the band.
100%. In fact, I might actually do like 6 of those collaboratively. So that might be kind of fun.
Yeah,
that's a great project. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Jim?
Maybe one will have sock puppets. Jim, you down? You want to be a guest sock puppet?
Well, besides mentioning my new band, Yes Saboteurs, I wanted to ask Josh.
Darn it, we're in an eternal feud, our two bands.
I'm going to put
we
my
keep playing Battle of the Bands.
My fan hat on. And Josh, since this is episode 200, it's a very special day. Can you please give us an exclusive that you have? I don't know what it's going to be, but whatever, some kind of exclusive that you haven't mentioned yet.
All right. You guys, in the next year, I'm going to reveal my true identity, and it's not Joshua Kimball.
God.
Kimball2020.com. I'm running for president. Thank you.
As you asked Josh that, I'm thinking, is there anything that I haven't put on the internet? Because you called yourself kind of an attention whore, and I am probably worse. I believe you could scroll through my social media and literally see everything that I've ever done.
Yeah, I don't really have a ton of exclusives. I will say, if I release that second graphic novel, I think that'll be kind of shocking to people, because I don't know if people realize like I've finished a couple. So yeah.
Well, Frank already unveiled my exclusive, and that's those books that I'm going to be letting people know about. So those
are really going to be cool. So
I'm really happy with how they came out. So yeah,
I like it.
I'll show you this. Let's see, where is it? Nope, that's not it. Okay, here we go. This is the beginning. You can't see it at all. That's perfect.
Zoom in.
This is just how I start doing my thing. So my working title is Ping Ping Boom, which I like and everybody else hates. But these are all the different scenes that I'm writing and trying to figure out right now.
It's just pictures of you posing in the mirror, shirtless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
don't know if it's appropriate to share some of those, Corey.
It is going to be 30 minutes of me in the bathroom taking selfies. That's my animation. So
I love it.
Is there something wrong with that, or I feel
no, not at all. Have you submitted them to the Passive Aggressive Festival, or?
Yeah, actually, 3 times.
We call it PAF, by the way, just to be for short. PAF.
We really should start PAF and just reject everyone.
Yeah, and Yes Saboteur.
That would be hilarious.
Who opens? Yes Saboteur.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, I'm not going to. Okay, how do I do this in a way where I'm not calling anyone out specifically? Let me say this. If you start a film festival and your entrance fees are more than Tribeca, Slam, South by Southwest, and Sundance, and you're in the middle of nowhere and you have nothing to offer, maybe reconsider your fees. Because every once in a while I come across something that's like, it's like a $45 entrance fee.
It's depressing.
And we
That
have
reminds me.
we're in the middle of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And there's 5 people that live here, and 2 of them aren't coming.
It's no path.
Yeah, it's like those illustration annuals where they're like, hey, if you give us $2,000, we'll give you a page in our book that we send to art directors. And then I get cold calls at my day job, and I'm like, wait a minute, you guys have been trying to pinch me for like $2,000, and you guys are more desperate than most illustrators I meet. Like, I really am skeptical of those things.
All I got from my $2,000 when I did one of those was solicitations.
What they do is put you on a
really
list of
seedy,
people willing
Scott,
to
by the
spend $2,000. They're like, this guy will give up the money. Keep sending him stuff. Anyhow, cool. I think this was a good 200. We're at like 145. We're gonna hit 2 hours almost. So
we go for
does anybody
200?
have? No.
We will leave and just let the stream run on our empty.
I love it. I love it.
That's actually the name of the first Yes Saboteur single. Let the stream run.
Let the stream
It'll
run.
be available on Captain Courage Records this summer. I hope you all go out and buy
I
it.
adore it.
You can enter the Passive Aggressive Film Festival on Kemble2020.com.
Yes.
That's true. And vote for me for president.
And the Brevian Film Festival is where you can go and sign up an exorbitant amount of money. To get,
And then you get extortion.
Brevian. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here's, Jim, I have one for you.
Okay.
I want merch.
Yes, you're right.
I agree with
Yes.
I will demand it
Yes.
so much so that I even made your first design for you.
I know. It's a goal now. Okay. It's a set goal. At least t-shirts, right?
Yeah, t-shirts are kind of what I like, but
I gotta have something to sell at PAF.
right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think you got to do phrase t-shirts too that are just like from old school Jim Lujan, newer stuff, all of that. Yeah, you got to make it happen.
A unicorn T-shirt.
Oh yeah. All right. That's a done deal.
I really want a unicornian like church shirt. Like
All
I
right.
really want that.
Seriously, I would like to buy one of those. So.
So Teespring or what's the other one?
Printful,
Printful.
Teespring, T-Public.
I don't know how much research Jim wants to do. That might be a little more complicated.
What's
I don't know.
really super easy? If I had a crayon on
Threadless?
it and I wanted to make a shirt.
A threadless store is pretty straightforward. Redbubble is pretty straightforward.
Isn't Threadless though where you have to like compete?
They have artist shops now where you can pretty much do it just like
Really?
Redbubble,
So there's basically 2 types. There's kind of an open environment and a closed environment.
Mm-hmm.
So the open environment is like Redbubble and TeePublic and stuff like that, where people will stumble across your work,
Mhm.
but you can drive traffic there, but they can also go to your page and then go to other people's pages.
Mhm.
And then there's like Designed by Humans and Threadless, where they go to your page and there's no way that they can go to any other page.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
And they're all print on demand. They don't no
They're all-
cost.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look
But you
into
should
it.
make that happen.
Yeah,
Considered
basically you put it in there and then they give you a couple bucks a shirt. I mean, you sell it for $20 and you make $3 or something.
My shirts are going to be $300.
Okay, then you will make $173. So
There might be a $200 limit.
yeah, sure. Anyway,
I don't know. It's like the Wu-Tang album of shirts. Like you never know, man. There might be a bidder.
I sell it for $2 million. I'm going to put a shirt on there, and Floyd Mayweather is going to buy it.
I recently tried to collect a payment from a client through Gumroad, and they froze my account because like I don't make a lot of money through Gumroad. and then
We're like,
all of a-
whoa, what's happening
all of a
here?
sudden, there's like this huge number that is several zeros larger than any year on Gumroad that I've ever done.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to freeze this just for a bit. And I was like, dude, I was kind of expecting that money. So I have it now though. Gumroad's great. Just know that they freak
Hey,
out.
do any of you guys know if you get? Is it true if I get 1,000 followers on Instagram, I get $1 million?
Mm-hmm. I believe
no.
that's 100% true.
If you
Working
get
my
1,000
way.
no, what happens is if you get 1,000 followers, you owe me $1 million.
Shoot, I'll stay at $9.99.
if we can get Jim to get 10,000 followers on YouTube, then you can have the T-shirts run underneath your videos.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, actually, at that point, Jim might have a prison tier. Like, if you guys make that happen, we might have Jim back on with a prison tier. Come on, guys. Make it happen.
If I knew how to, I have done it, but it took a long time. And if I'd like to do that again, I'd like to get another 10,000. But if I knew how to do it, I would do it right now.
At this rate, I will continue to gain followers that don't watch my videos. That's kind of
that's the way. That's the way. Yeah, every reviews anyone get, almost, it doesn't matter who you are. Almost anyone are non-subscribers.
I will say this. I have 6 times the followers today than I did when we started this thing, and
Lovely.
I have the same number of views. So,
oh no,
that doesn't sound too far off. Yeah.
All right, we are at 150,
Right.
so we gotta wrap it. So, all right, let's look forward to the next year. Let's keep art checking. Let's make sure you guys are checking out Corey and Jim's show. Learn some stuff about animation.
let me give you a little thing. This is the first episode. This is the second
good one.
episode, and the third episode is coming tomorrow.
The third one is holding Jim and Corey hostage. They're strangely not going to show up.
Actually, this is the first one we're not doing live. So it is this though. It's basically going to be me showing like my process on how I do a bunch of this stuff, and so I go through and kind of explain it, and so apparently I sound like it doesn't make any sense, and there actually are several sections here where I wrote long equations on the screen, so that's not inaccurate, but it makes perfect sense. You just have to follow along.
So then I have to follow next week or the next episode with my process that I'm editing together. And it's like having Prince open for you as an opening act. Corey's is ridiculously good. And mine's going to look like, here is a picture of animation.
I will tell you that I am very excited about my title graphics because I animated my title graphics. I don't know if it's going to show up, but I recreated a game of Pong for one of them. So yeah,
At the end, Corey, his light comes out of his eyes and he ascends into the skies, and lightning bolts shoot out.
My final form, I turn into an anime schoolgirl.
Well, I got one word.
That's where you can recycle the tentacles. I'm just saying.
Corey, I got one word for my process video.
Okay.
Hentai.
Okay. All right. So that's a good place to.
That's not that boy.
Okay. All right. So if you would like to make cool things and do cool things, and if you've made it an hour and 53 minutes into this, congratulations.
My thing says 2 minutes and 7 or 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Oh, really?
Well, it might be.
Wonder why that is.
So we win.
It's the alternate dimensions. Arizona time's just different.
I don't know why that is.
What day is it there, Scott?
Does time just move slower for you, Scott? Is that what? Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry. I was going to tell you a thing. Okay, so my cousin is a rocket scientist. He works for NASA. He's
good for you.
Name dropping.
I don't know.
High five, Josh.
He's on the solid fuels team, I think, or something. Anyway, one time I was working out a story, and I still have this as a back burner story that I will do someday. And part of it has to do with the fact that light travels through certain materials slower than other materials. Mm-hmm. And so in theory, you could get a pane of glass that would take like 6 months for light to travel through it. And so you could leave it in a really scenic area for 6 months. And then you could install it in your home, and you would have the actual light from that area broadcasting into your home from this slow time glass. That is the basis of an entire animation that I'm going to do at some point.
And Time Glass is one of the bands you could see at PAF if you get your tickets now.
They open
with Yes Saboteur is opening.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Time Glass is very adult contemporary.
It sounds kind of prog rock.
Yes.
Like Alan Parsons,
Time Glass.
or if I can get Time in a Bottle.
The
or
lead
something
keyboard
like
player has real long hair. And he goes like that.
Yeah. There's like the 10-minute jam sessions.
Yeah,
you know,
Time
the
Glass.
drummer with the
Bass
50
player with the high
toms.
bass like that.
Yeah. I only need 70 toms on my drum set.
Time Glass. Somebody's got to make that a shirt. Yeah.
See, this is what Jim's store needs to be full of, is just the stupid crap.
Time Glass.
Oh, I have to say, like, so Jim, you're also doing your music podcast.
Oh, Fake
again.
Explosion. Yeah.
Fake Explosion.
Fake Explosion.
We're checking out if you...
and on podcasts and stuff. It's just a collection of music for my films and stuff like that.
Yeah. And Time Glass might show up.
Time Glass might show up on there now. It's it's real music by fake bands. So
I love it.
All right. Now let's actually wrap it. Sorry that I'm derailing
Yes.
it every time we do this. But thanks, Frank and Jim and Kayla, for coming on. And we will see you guys on Wednesday. Go make cool stuff. We're out.